Broadcast partner tonight is Mr. Kurt McClelland, and we've got the band back with us again. The producer director, Mr. Dave Jingo, IT and streaming, Amanda Dukes. On the replays, Jen Eberly. Maybe she can actually put some color into my hair. And on camera, and this young man has done an outrageously wonderful job, Mr. Ian Burton. North Canton Hoover.
How about that?
So
You had told me you were 45 this whole time.
the bottom line is this: if McKinley couldn't win something, I'd have Hoover right behind him.
Good.
In this game, however, it's kind of interesting because both teams come in with identical overall records last time we checked at 5-5.
Of course, we opened up Federal League play with Hoover, and I thought we played a nice game up there. We were able to speed them up enough to get the pace to where we wanted it, and won by 15. Hoover has scrapped out 2 wins in the Federal League, so they sit at 2-4. McKinley's 3-3, I believe. And this Federal League is really jumbled up, Scott. I mean, Jackson sits at 5-1, and after that, there's a logjam between 5 teams, and I don't think Perry's gotten a Federal League win yet. So
and Jackson still has a visit here. I know that game went right down to the wire, and the home team, in this case Jackson, was able to prevail. But it's one of those. And meanwhile, for the girls, it's really a 3-team race.
Yes.
And McKinley happens to be one of those 3 teams.
I don't think the boys are out of this Federal League just yet.
Oh, I don't either. I think they need to build, and maybe tonight's a good night to start building a winning streak.
Key game tonight, yes, to get back on the winning track here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Board of Education and Administration of the Kansas City School District and McKinley Senior High School, we welcome you to the Canton Memorial Fieldhouse for tonight's Federal League contest, featuring our guests from North Canton Hoover High School and Canton McKinley High School. Hoover High School and Canton McKinley High School are both members of the Federal League and abide by the highest standards of sportsmanship and respect, as demonstrated in actions and words. Good luck to both teams tonight, and remember the sportsmanship model of the Federal League: the game unites us. The officials assigned in this contest have been selected and assigned according to the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Tonight's officials are Todd Huff, Patrick Henderson, and Gerald Parks.
Mr. Alex Rafus, the voice of the Fieldhouse.
All America, please rise, gentlemen, remove your caps, and join the singing of our national anthem.
If our basketball team played as well as our pep band, Scott, we wouldn't have lost a game this year. Outstanding
I
effort.
like it. I like it.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the 3-hour teams.
All right. For the North Canton Hoover Vikings, under the leadership of head coach Mike Bluey, assistant coaches include a McKinley product, Isaiah Elliott.
Yes. Isaiah's been on the staff a number of years up there
Yes.
now.
Wes Collins, number 10, averaging better than 16 per game. Zach Brucker, averaging close to 8 points per game.
Holding Collins to 9 points the first game was a real key for us in that win over Hoover.
Hunter Ross, number 32, he is a senior. Mason Billy, number 42, the tallest player on the floor at 6'6", senior. And Blake Ward, rounding out the starting five, a 6'3", senior. So they got a lot of experience out there, with the exception of the one sophomore, 4 seniors.
They do, and Mason Billy, I don't know if he plays another sport or not, but he sure is a big, strong kid.
Keith Quincy, averaging close to 9 points per game, coming off a season-high 20 against Jackson.
Keith's really come on the last 3 or 4 games for us. Always outsized.
Dante McClellan at forward.
Another sophomore starter for the Pups.
Antonio Williams, senior. Number 24, Trajan Foster, off a 23-point performance against Jackson. And of course, don't forget the
I feel like that was
leader,
a breakout.
Jaleel
I feel like
Graham.
that was a breakout game for Trayshawn
Yeah.
Tuesday night. I think the football season is behind him. He's got his basketball legs, and we'll hope to see him play like that game in, game out here down the stretch.
And again, with the number of football players on our basketball team this year, it does take a while to make that transition. I'd be lucky to get through one sport, let alone 2 of the, well, with the biggest contact, I would say. Because the one you get a little more equipment than you do with the other. But
so Keith
Jaleel
Quincy
Graham
is giving up 5 inches on this jump ball.
Yeah,
I don't think Keith has lost the center tip this year, and we didn't again. He picks up the tip.
So
Uncanny
and
ability,
everything, right?
Yes, uncanny ability.
Williams with the basketball. Graham, Remno, and the rebound to Wes Collins. Swing it around the perimeter.
Both teams open up in a man-to-man.
And a whistle, a traveling called. I think a defensive Blake Ward, he just kind of lost his footing there. And here come the Bulldogs. Graham to Williams. Ball movement around the perimeter. Girl showed that against the Lady Vikings the other night. Foster in a crowd.
Good patience here on offense. Yep. We have not just settled for anything.
Nice.
Keith Quincy, offensive rebound and put back, and off we go.
Keith Quincy using his football skills.
Interestingly, Antonio Williams is matched up against Wes Collins on the point rather than Graham. I think sometimes Coach V is trying to not get Jaleel to expend too much energy on the defensive end and save some for offense.
Keith Quincy picks up his first personal foul, and again, trying to guard the tallest man on the floor, Mason Billy, at 6'6". The drive, the shot, couldn't draw iron, but the big man is there and he's fouled.
Yeah. Yeah, Trayshawn Foster reaching over there. When he gets it that low, we I don't want to say you concede the layup, but we don't want to get them in the bonus too early here in the first quarter. He held Big Billy to 7 points the first time we played, which was a nice effort too. Little twist with Trayshawn Foster bringing the ball down the floor as opposed to Jaleel Graham.
Over to Williams. Big man out there guarding. And the interception by Blake Ward. He takes it all the way.
Careless turnovers have plagued us, Scott, and we've had 2 here in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Shot is up, short, out of bounds. Was Collins. And again, so many of these schools, and Hoover one of them, that plays where there's not a deep area behind the baskets. You know, there's a wall there and all.
So it's a different perspective,
yes.
Background as you shoot the ball.
Hoover, nice move. Steal and basket, Hunter Ross. They've got 3 of their 5 each in the scorebook already.
3 turnovers very early on here.
Coach Bluey yelling instructions. Both coaches, as you would expect, on their feet.
Yeah.
5-2. Hoover. We played almost 3.5 minutes. 3-point goal. Hunter Ross, and he leads all scorers with 5.
So what we saw there was the patience that you would anticipate from a Hoover offense. I mean, they didn't settle for a bad shot. They got what they wanted. Coach McCluskey and Coach V know this is Hoover style, and we're trying to get them to speed up a little bit. I thought we got them to take some quick shots early on here, but we came back down the floor and turned over the ball. So there was no net gain for McKinley. No substitutions yet for the Bulldogs. Coach V has stayed with his starting 5 so far. It looks to me like he's probably going to play about 8 players tonight.
Williams passed on the 3.
See us cutting a little harder. That probably was a point of emphasis in that timeout. Sometimes when you cut on offense, Scott, you don't get the ball, but you create a space for one of your teammates to get a pass. Sometimes young players don't understand that concept.
McClellan got his shot. He worked hard for it.
Okay, come back in a full court press. Casus Moody getting ready to check in. Very nice backdoor cut by Hoover. I think you'll see Moody come in for Williams, and you'll see excellent ball pressure on Wes Collins as he's trying to bring the ball up the floor.
4 in the scoring column for the Vikings. 3-point goal by Williams. He says, Coach, let me in and I'll hit some more for you.
Beautiful steal by Jaleel. Nice assist to Dante Williams. Pups are within 1.
It's amazing in high school ball how things can change in an instant.
Yes.
A quick 4-0 run by McKinley. 3-point shot is up, a little short. And McKinley with the rebound. Trajan Foster. Foster makes his move. He goes down. They call it a clean block. Graham just flew into the air and picked it off. And they're saying he stepped on the out of bounds line, I'm guessing. One thing I don't have to guess upon is the fact that we're going to see Jasus Moody and we're going to see Reed Sims Jr.
Foul on Hoover, Scott. That wasn't a Graham wasn't out of bounds. So
all right. So he was
first
forced out as a result of the contact and the foul.
First team foul on Hoover. 2 fouls on the Bulldogs. So Graham has come in for Antonio Williams. I'm anticipating him to guard Collins. We'll see how that matchup goes.
Logan Ash, number 30, is checked in for Hoover. Nice pass inside. Nash was in on the defense there.
Reed Sims also checked in. Kind of a chippy foul on Trayshawn Foster, 60 feet from the basket.
That's tough. Williams coming back in. Foster forced to take a break with 2 personals in the early going.
Okay, so we got Moody on Collins. That's a tough matchup. Moody's taller and faster. That's a tough combination for the senior Hoover guard.
The lead is down to 1 for the Vikings at 10-9. Make it 12-9.
Beautiful backdoor cut.
And I'll tell you, Ross has 7 to lead all scorers. And time-wise, 1:30 to go in this opening period. It'll be McKinley's basketball with 1:23 left in the quarter. We're going to get Keith Quincy back into the game, replacing Jaleel Graham. Zach Brocker back in. And getting a breather, Wes Collins.
Okay. 2 turnovers from Jasus Moody this quarter.
Hoover with the ball, 3-point lead inside a minute. Left alone, and
so they set a high pick, and we got no help. They picked our defender off, and then the picker who's guarding him has to go out and pick him up, and we didn't get there at all. Very nice play by Dante McClellan.
Moody with the basket, his first. We've got Hunter Ross in the book for 10.
Kane Crew in for Hoover, sophomore guard, replacing Wes Collins.
Both teams using their benches in the early going.
Hoover going for the last shot here.
Yep, up by 4.
Okay.
We'll see if McKinley gets the last shot.
We don't need a quick shot. We've got time here.
To
7
Moody.
seconds, 5. Come on, Jasus. 4.
Moody for 3, short. Williams.
He got it off in time, I felt. Well, I suspect, Scott, we turned the ball over 5 or 6 times. Coach V has a goal of about 12 turnovers for a game. So prorated, that's more turnovers than what we're looking for.
Well, for Hoover, leading scorer is Hunter Ross. We've got him averaging 8 per game, and he already has 10. On the other side of the coin, we've got 4 for McClellan, 3 for Williams, 2 for Quincy, 2 for Moody.
Well, I suspect that Hunter Ross will get a little more attention on the defensive end here from us.
Yeah, he had 9, but that was in the entire 4 periods of play between these two teams up at Hoover, although he did hit 3 threes, so that kind of...
Well, I think most of his points have come from the three-point line here tonight. He, obviously, if we leave him open, he's a young man that can shoot the basketball. Billy back in for Hoover. He must be rested at this point.
Graham back in for McKinley. Hoover with the ball, 4-point lead. Oh,
boy,
I'll tell you. Nice move inside.
Coach
Zach Brocker, he's got 4.
Coach V feels like the Hoover player just slammed into Jaleel Graham from behind. No call. Hoover recovers and turns it into a basket. That's a big no call there.
Williams passed on the 3. Quincy. Moody. Whistle.
Hoover taking their big guy, double teaming the ball all the way out on the baseline. That's or the sideline. That's surprising to me. Should be something open there.
Shot is up. Rim no. And a whistle. Against Quincy. No.
Second foul on Keith.
He'll have to take a breather. McClellan back in. 17-11. Hoover with the lead and the ball. We are early in the second period of play. Reed Sims Jr. Over to Williams. Up with the basketball. Wes Collins.
McClellan now matched up against Billy.
We're at the 6-minute mark of the second period. A steal by Williams. McClellan in the lane. One-handed shot is good.
Boy, I think Dante was expecting a foul there, and Billy held off, but a great basket.
Williams with the steal. He's been active. That's going to be a walk. McClellan said I was pushed into the walk.
It was a one-sided conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Billy will get a breather for Hoover. The Hoover lead is 4, and they've got a 3-on-2 break. Beautiful move and basket. Number 30, Logan Ash. He's in the scoring column for the first time. Sims with it. Sims open.
Boy, that's a good play. Jaleel faked he was driving the line. Sims' man dashed in to help on the drive and left him wide open for a 3 it's good offense from McKinley.
Hoover lead is 6. We're at inside the 5-minute mark before halftime. A fast-paced game.
Not high scoring, but fast-paced.
Yeah. And Hoover has been, what we call deliberate in the past. I see this team a little more upbeat.
Yeah,
Timeout, McKinley. Blake
Another
Ward, he's
turnover
got
led to a
4.
run out there.
Yeah.
And I don't love that matchup with Antonio Williams on Wes Collins. We had Jesus Moody on the floor at that point, and that Collins is a key player for them and an explosive scorer, and Moody's a better matchup for us there. You know, these teams really, when you look at the floor, you've got Billy, who is 6'6" or 6'7", and he stands out. After that, you know, the teams look to be pretty evenly matched when
I
it
would
comes
agree.
to stature.
And traditionally McKinley's been known as a quick team.
Yes.
And I haven't seen that yet tonight.
No, I
don't know how much of it is the Hoover defense and how much of it is them trying to rev up, so to speak.
We had some success against Hoover. Actually, we turned the game around with a zone press. I thought it was a 1-2-2. Coach Feet, I thought it was a 2-2-1. Coach Feet told me it was a 1-2-2. But we haven't played much zone press this year, but I'd like to take a look at that because it really was helpful the first time around.
Yeah, Connor Weldon is in for the first time, 6'2" senior, wearing number 23.
Billy out of the game for Hoover, so now everybody kind of looks the same out there, don't they?
You're right. No one is towering over anybody else. This is Sims. He'll bring it back out. Sims, back of the iron, no.
That's a good shot for Reed.
Right.
I'd love to see him take that ball in there 10 feet, raise up and shoot a mid-range jumper.
Hunter Ross with the rebound in traffic. Graham comes away with it. Graham with the runner, yes.
Yes. Jalil's first point to the game, and we're almost at halftime.
.23 for Hoover, 15 for McKinley. A whistle and a foul.
Boy, the Hoover player was going to take a very difficult shot there. And you just hate to see us bail somebody out with a foul. You know, let him take a 25% shot and rebound the ball.
Hunter Ross, who had that big first period of 10.
Who would have expected him to miss them both the way he was shooting the ball?
Yeah, exactly. Graham beats Sims.
Excellent by Jaleel Graham. Maybe that'll get Reed started. Sometimes an easy layup, seeing that ball go through the basket, just what a player needs. Moving screen called on Hoover. It's only their second foul with 3 minutes to go in the half.
And the deficit is down to 6. Get around the perimeter. Graham makes his move. Whistle. Count the basket.
Jaleel had 20 the first time we played Hoover, Scott, and he's a tough matchup for Hoover. His quickness and explosiveness off the floor. Last year, Hoover had a better matchup. I'm remembering about a 6'4" wide receiver on the football team that played on the Hoover team that they had guarding Jaleel, who was as quick as Jaleel and 5 inches taller, but they don't have that this year.
Graham with 5, all of them in the second period of play, and the lead is down to 3. Hoover 23, McKinley 20, inside 3 minutes to go in the first half. Good call by the official.
Collins kicked the ball out of bounds. Good defense by Antonio Williams. Did you see who called time? Was that Coach
I was
Blue,
gonna guess it'd be Hoover, but it's a pure guess.
Well, timeouts left. Hoover has 4 instead of 5. So I think that was their first
All right.
time out of the half.
I think their head coach, Coach Bluey, feels like I do. He feels that momentum beginning to change.
We haven't seen Foster out there a whole lot tonight, have
No,
we?
and I thought about that, and I'm wondering if they just decided, hey, let's save him for the second half, or at least save him for late in this first half.
I think Trayshawn has had some issues with the back spasms, and I'm wondering. Hopefully, that's not the case. He just played too well Tuesday night. I'm just afraid there's an issue there of some kind.
Graham's had the hot hand, and it will be Hoover basketball.
Boy, that's Connor wasn't where Dante thought he would be, and another unforced error from McKinley.
Inside 2.5 minutes to go before halftime.
Keith Quincy, no, Dante's in, not Keith.
Well, got the roll, and
if the home team does that, you call it a shooter's touch.
Right.
But,
interesting. Hoover has 10 points in this period. 5 different players have 2 points.
that is interesting.
Hoover with the ball, 5-point lead, 25-20, a minute 50 to go before halftime. Off to the side, and it should be McKinley's ball, and is.
I don't know if the scouting report tells us to leave Zach Bruner shoot the ball from there or not, but there was nobody around him on that 3-point attempt.
Crew Kane, a 5'10 sophomore guard, into the ball game. And Wes Collins gets a breather.
Okay, 5 points, 140 to go in the half. We need to gain on this 5-point deficit and go into the halftime less than this.
Williams with it.
Hoover hedging hard on those screens.
Graham, nope, off the back iron.
Boy, that's a shot we want Jaleel to take all night long.
Hunter Ross will get credit for that last rebound. And we've got exactly 1 minute to go in the first half. Hoover by 5, McKinley's basketball.
That's excellent defense on the wing. We're denying that wing pass, which makes us vulnerable to the backdoor cut. And yet our guy on that backdoor cut was able to get in the way and cause a turnover. That's exceptional defense.
Logan Ash coming back in for another tour of duty for Hoover.
Did Foster pick up a couple fouls, Scott?
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
so
he may
2,
be out.
and that's when he went out.
Okay, so that's when he went out. I thought Quincy picked up 2. It was,
he did too, I believe. I believe they both have 2.
Okay.
Sims with it. Gets it to Graham. Sims, runner. No. Volleyballed around. Williams fighting hard. So is the Vikings. Now we got a 2-on-1 the other way. I believe it's counted a foul. No.
Offensive foul on Billy.
Offensive foul.
I thought he shuffled his feet before he fouled him, but
we should have had a multiple choice question on that one. Was it A, B?
Well, I would anticipate with 21 seconds, we'll go for the last shot here.
Yep.
Let's see what our execution is. We'd want to get a shot up probably with about 5 or 6 seconds to go in the half.
Right, we'll count it down. 10,
unless it's a layup,
9.
and then we'll take it.
McClellan with 8, 4 in each quarter. So they accomplished what you'd hope they'd do. And ironically, we outscored them in the second period 11-10.
Well, we were down by 5 there, and we said we wanted to win the last minute and a half of the quarter, which we did. If we can get Foster back out there and we get Quincy back out there and not in not in foul trouble here the second half, should be a good exciting second half.
Kind of interesting. Hunter Ross leads all scorers with 12. He had 10 of those in the first, averaging under 10 per game. His season high is 15 against Massillon, according to what we researched. On the other side, Dante McClellan has 8, 4 in each quarter. And then Jaleel Graham has 5, all in the second period of play. Mm-hmm. And those are the leading scorers for McKinley.
25-22, though, is a score that Coach Bluey likes. I mean, he'd like to play this game in the 40s, right, and we'd like to play the game in the 60s. So far, they've been able to have this game go their way. We'll see what we can do the second half to speed it up.
It'll be interesting. We will step aside and be back with the third period of play here at the Fieldhouse. 25 for our guests from North Canton Hoover, 22 for the home team, the Canton McKinley Bulldogs.
If you're seeking an energetic, creative, and vibrant presenter, Lucas Tyndale is your choice. I'm already looking forward to booking him again.
Lucas's engaging and enthusiastic style created positive energy and engagement with our leaders. He is very personable and connects well with his audience.
You need to set your GPS so that your life is the life you plan for it to be. I don't care how young you are, how old you are. Your life should not just be a series of unfortunate events and things just happen.
You never get in your car and just say, I'm just going to see where I end up. Right? Is that ever a setting in your GPS? Just take me wherever you want me to go.
I cannot recommend Lucas enough. I have pretty high standards, and he exceeded them effortlessly. Authentic, energetic, and thought-provoking.
Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. E-I-E-I-O. I want you guys to remember E-I-E-I-O forever. EI stands for emotional intelligence. When you know who you are, it's easy to do what you do. This is who I am.
Lucas does wonderful work. Absolutely rivets the group with his enthusiasm. I definitely walked away a better man than I arrived. Divergent.
Humorous.
Storyteller.
Knowledgeable. My favorite keynote speaker.
So on the count of 3, you guys are going to say some simple words. You're going to just say, I love you. And you're going to picture yourself in the mirror. You're just saying this to yourself. It's really simple. You're going to simply say, I love you to you. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. A little louder. 1, 2, 3. I love you guys too. Thank you guys so much. My name is Lucas Tyndale. It's been a pleasure being here with you guys today.
Welcome back to the Canton Memorial Fieldhouse. Hoover 25, McKinley 22, getting ready for the third period of play. And since we talked about it off mic, we might as well mention it on mic. It's great to see two of the standouts from the McKinley program. One, Shay Richardson, assistant coach at McKinley, and another, Isaiah Elliott, from the same class at North Canton Hoover, and both were able to play college ball in Canton.
Well, they were teammates at Malone and had very nice careers up there under Tim Walker, who is now the athletic is involved. I think, is he still the athletic director at North Canton?
No, I think he's in charge, or at least overseeing the construction of the stadium.
Okay, very good. So yes, and I think that they're first cousins, if I'm not mistaken.
Because now Tom Oakes is the AD at Hoover. I'll give him a plug because I've been lucky with both of them because they've been so cooperative in covering Hoover McKinley events. So,
Trayshawn Foster starting and Keith Quincy. So apparently they were out due to foul trouble, Scott. So it'll be good to have them back in the lineup here.
I was going to say that could be a win-win. We'll see how things play out. Here's the young man who's had the hot hand, but not here. As McClellan's shot goes across the board. The rebound by Blake Ward.
It's a shot we'll live with all night.
Wes Collins. Zach Brocker is number 20. Right in front of the Hoover bench. And to trigger it in, Hunter Ross. 5'10" senior, who leads all scorers so far in this game with a dozen. Shot is up, three-pointer is good. Wes Collins.
Yeah, too much room there. Good start to open the second half for the Vikings.
Funny, we've only had 2 3-point goals, and both of them by Hoover. 28-22 Vikings. Nice feed inside, good defense by Mason Billy. Baseline. Blake Ward has 2 points in each quarter, 6 total.
Confused on who was going to guard him that time, and so nobody did.
It's like the sea kind of parted, and he found the lane. Ball is loose. 2 Hoover players collide. That's the kind of intensity we've had here tonight. I mean, everybody is giving their best effort, at least as far as what we've seen. Shot is up and down. Quick start. Hunter Ross, leading scorer, 14. It's a 7-0 Hoover run to open this period. 32-22.
Hoover has switched to a zone. Actually, they've switched to a box and one, where one player is following Graham all over the floor, and they're playing a zone out of that. Actually, it looks like a diamond in one. That's a twist we haven't seen this year, and one I'm not sure we're prepared for because we haven't seen it.
Wes Collins brought the ball down courts. Now everyone has touched it around the perimeter. Jack Brocker's number 20. Number 10, Wes Collins, their leading scorer.
Hoover's not a team you want to play from behind. They'll
no, because they're very patient. Yeah, very patient.
Run their offense. And they handle the ball pretty well, so it's not real easy to turn them over in the half court.
And you see the results. Collins, 5 in the period, 7 in the game. The lead is 12. And a chance for more.
Pups have gone 3 minutes without scoring to start the second half here.
And that's allowed Hoover to build a double-digit lead. Nice feed inside. Collins with the assist. Billy He's got 3, and McKinley has to call timeout at this juncture. And ironically, the shot was made.
Nice two-man game over there on the wing with Hoover. They set a high ball screen. We switched it. Billy rolled. He kept our guy on his backside, and easy layup.
And to me, they've shown a lot, meaning Hoover, a lot of variety in different sets. And different, again, they'll always start around the perimeter.
Well, the one difference is Hoover plays more 4 around 1. They have the big man that rotates inside the key, and they have 4 men on the outside, where we're playing mostly a 5-out open post offense. We sometimes start with 2 high posts, but it very quickly morphs into an open post. We're going to have to get somebody with a hot hand here. Jason Smoody in the game for Antonio Williams and Reed Sims. So Coach V going to his bench, and what we were doing wasn't working. So
trying to put an end to an 11-0 Vikings run.
We tried with 6 guys on the floor, and the referees didn't allow that. I thought there should be some kind of a home court advantage.
That would be the ultimate, I think. It will be McKinley's ball.
Tried to force a pass in there on a backdoor cut. We probably had that set coming out of the timeout, but it really wasn't there. Fortunate we didn't turn the ball over.
Nice pass inside. Basket by Keith Quincy, the assist to Trajan Foster. Ball through the arms. And it will be
McKinley ball.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Wanted to be sure. And when you said it, I knew it was the right call. Jaleel Graham with the basketball. Trying to find an opening. Graham, side of the iron, no whistle. Looks like it's against Hoover.
Yeah. Trayshawn Foster did an outstanding job. He saw the ball coming from the far side. 80% of the rebounds are going to rebound long. He pinned the Hoover defender underneath the basket. The ball bounced long, and he was there to get it. All the Hoover defender could do was foul. That's a veteran play.
Nice feed inside.
Yeah.
Basket by Keith Quincy.
We talked at our weekly luncheon group, Scott, about it. What a good job Keith Quincy does making himself available around the basket. And so all these easy buckets he gets, you think that it's just happenstance or good luck. It really isn't. It's his ability to sense where a void is underneath the basket.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming of all the football players who, playing varsity basketball, he's the one that's made the most progress from square one to.
It seems to me, yeah.
Now again,
he didn't play any varsity last year, and so he's had a really nice sophomore campaign.
And again, I'm not counting number 22, Foster, because he proved himself before his senior year in both sports.
We're not getting our defensive rotations here and giving up some easy stuff for Hoover.
The last bucket by Logan Ash, he's got 4. The lead is a dozen, 2:38 in a fast-paced third quarter. Collins gets his second. No one has more than 2, which isn't bad as we're in the latter stages of the third period.
So knock on wood, neither Neither Foster or Quincy has picked up their third foul so far. If we can go into the fourth quarter with them both only having 2, they don't have anything to worry about.
Moody with 3 points, looking for 4 at the line. Breather for Zach Brocker, who comes out. Nice rebound, Foster, and put back.
That's Trayshawn's first basket of the game. And boy, it's not because of lack of effort either. I mean, he really plays hard.
Shot off the mark.
Excellent rebound.
Yep, Quincy. Graham blows by 3 defenders and scores. Jalil with 7. Hoover counters. Hunter Ross. Game high 16. Lead is 9. 1:45 to go, quarter number 3. Rebound, Logan Ash. Drew Kane back out there, number 22. Guarded by his opposite number, Foster.
That's too easy.
Yeah, Ross was 6.
It's too easy. 7-foot jump shot,
18
uncontested.
In the game. He's 1 basket away from doubling his game 1 against McKinley up at Hoover.
You know, it puts me to mind a little bit, Scott, if you remember the Glen Oak game here at the field house. The Broom boy from Glen Oak had 24 points and just had an outstanding game. And outside of that, I'm seeing, 10-point, 8-point, 6-point games from him. But he sure looked like an all-star against McKinley that night. That's what we're seeing here. That's got to be a block.
Well, Graham had that memorable, to say the least, 36-point performance in the opener here against Louisville. And I think he's also taken a lot of contact over the game. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but he's kind of a marked man, let's face it.
You're not going to go to the basket, and they're just going to let you lay it in. You remember Mark Price for the Cavaliers?
Yes.
When they played the Detroit Pistons, oh my goodness. Lambeer and Rick Mahorn used to his mother had to be going crazy watching those games.
This is for point number 9, more importantly, to get the deficit back into single digits. Mission accomplished.
Okay, we are in a 1-2-2 press here, or a diamond press. So that's a different look for us giving Hoover. And it does speed them up.
Nice block by Quincy.
And it does speed them up, and we get the ball with a stop.
Graham, yes.
I don't think anybody stops on a dime quite as quickly as Jaleel Graham. So we're back in that zone press. Again, this press really helped us the first game against Hoover. $18 seconds to go. We're down by 7. We've closed a 14-point gap to 7.
Got an open shot. Didn't get the roll. I'm guessing it's probably going to be against Moody, but let's wait and see. That's his first. Just over 9 seconds to go, so assuming they'll play for the last shot, we'll see.
We're going to watch for them picking for Billy on the corner there somehow, and him coming in a one-on-one situation.
5, 4.
Oh, that very well could have been a travel.
2.
Very well could have been a travel.
Drew Kane, his first basket. So 22 got the ball out of his hand with 2 seconds. So twos were wild,
I think,
basically.
yes.
Your thoughts while I try to add up some numbers here.
Well, what an atrocious start for the second half for Canton McKinley. I mean, Hoover hit us with about 10 unanswered points, and we finally got it going offensively about halfway through the quarter. Again, down 9 going into the fourth quarter, we are going to have to make Hoover play faster here, and we're going to have to get them to take some quick shots, and hopefully we can get some easy stuff down at the other end. We really haven't gotten much of that tonight. And with our outside shooting challenges from the three-point line, then we need to get I don't think we've made a three-point shot tonight, have we?
No, not to my knowledge. In fact, threes have been few and
We
far
haven't
between.
attempted a whole lot, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've only got 2, and they're both for Hoover. Collins with 1, and Ross with 1 in that first period when he was so hot.
Antonio Williams may have hit a three-pointer
All right,
early on
let's
in the
check
game.
it, and the answer is you are correct, sir.
Okay. Well, McKinley comes back to start the fourth quarter with the same 5 that they ended the third quarter with. Hoover gets the ball to start.
(19-13), Hoover with the advantage in that third period. Ball is loose. Trying to get his bearings. Trajan Foster ended up sliding across the floor.
Good defensive effort. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing in all sports. But basketball, how many guys over the years guarded Michael Jordan and played outstanding defense, and he still scored?
Yes.
And you're not always rewarded for great effort. But the averages pay off over the long run.
Since you've brought up his name, has there been anybody better either before or after number 23? And I know it's a matter of
not
opinion.
in my opinion. I do have a 36-year-old son that every time LeBron has one of his phenomenal games, texts me and asks if I'm sure that he's not the greatest of all time. But I told him there was a difference between the greatest player and the best career. LeBron very well may fashion the greatest career of all time. There was a 10-year period or so where Michael Jordan played basketball at a higher level, I think, than anybody ever has. Tiger Woods, for 10 years, played golf at a higher level than anybody ever has. Jack Nicklaus, to this point, has had the best career. So those are 2 different things.
I like it. I like those analogies.
The Beatles, for 10 years, had an outstanding career. The Rolling Stones are still doing it 60 years later.
That's right. There is longevity, and there is what have you done for me for a decade? All right, McKinley trying to cut into a 9-point deficit. Deep 3, rim no. Rebound by
Reed
Hunter
Sims
Ross.
can't get discouraged there. He has to keep shooting that ball. There is nobody on the McKinley coaching staff telling him not to shoot that shot.
Keeping an eye on the clock, 6:45 left in period number 4. Nice steal by Foster. He just picked his pocket. Shot is up.
Oh, boy, that's Trayshawn's shot, a 15-foot jump shot.
Yeah.
We could have
just
used
didn't
that.
get the bounce, basically. Got the rim, but not the bounce.
Hey, we're doubling now the ball. You're
Yep.
starting to see us now. You know, that leaves us vulnerable for some things, but I think down by 9, we really don't have any choice here. Yeah.
I believe Hoover has the patience to wait for the shot. There's the shot by Zach Rucker. He's been consistent, 2 points in every quarter.
Offensive call on Jaleel Graham. I'd like to see that again. I thought Jaleel was going sideways to the basket, not at the basket. And you know, there's your favorite dilemma: the block or the charge. And that time, the charge was called, and we're a long way away, aren't we? You and I from being able to see these.
Yes.
Excellent passing by Hoover, breaking the press. The first pass comes over the top. We're not getting back down the floor fast enough there.
Kane with 4 off the bench. The lead is back up to 13. We're under 5.5 minutes left to play. Foster off the right side of the iron. Rebound by Logan Ash. Good decision by Hoover to back it up.
Yes. Yeah, up by 13. We're going to play a lot of defense. I would suspect Coach V is going to have to start subbing guys in to keep defenders fresh because it's exhausting to chase the ball like this.
Loose ball, but Hoover gets it. Keep an eye on the clock, approaching 4.5 minutes. Look at this play. Rocker with 8. 4
Sophomore guard, Scott. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
They're stalling the ball. It's trying to protect the lead. He sees an opening and confidently goes to the basket.
Steal by Logan Ash. Basket by number 10, Wes Collins. He's got 9. More importantly, midway through the period, the lead is all the way up.
17 points.
Yeah, 17 points. Both teams ready to substitute at this juncture.
Okay. Coach V's got a couple of substitutions in at the thing. And again, now you're managing exhaustion as well as the strategy of the game. Trying to keep guys fresh out there.
McClellan and Weldon in for McKinley. And back in for the Vikings, number 32, Hunter Ross. We were able to rest the young man who scored 18 points here tonight.
Jaleel got that ball underneath the basket. I would have liked to seen him create contact and draw the foul there. He appeared to have gone away from contact and threw the ball out of bounds. And I thought he had the Hoover kid in position there.
McClellan with the takeaway. Foster. He lost the handle. It could be that ball, and again, not to make excuses, but had some sweat on it. And he went to throw it. It just came out of his hands like there was a magnet in it. Hunter Ross getting a breather.
We're still in a
and we're approaching 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're gambling like that, you really leave yourself the basket open. And again, down by 17 with 3 minutes, we just don't have many, there's not many good options.
Ash with 6 off the bench. He had the exact same number in the first meeting.
Dante McClellan gets into double figures.
Yep. He and Graham combined for 21. McKinley's basketball, 2:46. And again, we've got Keith Quincy back in. And interesting at this juncture that Coach Bluey is replacing him 2 at a time. So he's really trying to,
Yes.
keep.
Yeah, he's trying to keep his kids fresh too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Graham before the shot.
Here's a time when we'd like to have a few more fouls. We've only got 3 team fouls, so sometimes when you're down, you're wanting a foul and send them to the line and hope that they miss. We've got to foul 4 times before they get to the line.
Delayed of drawing off the basketball. Graham the trigger to McClellan. Graham for 3.
Coach V calls timeout. Down by 14, Scott. I think he's got an opportunity to convince our team, and we've got one more push in us.
Yeah.
If Hoover comes down and pushes us back to 17 or 19, he's going to have a hard time selling our guys that the game is still alive.
It's ironic the margin's 14 and Graham leads his team with 14.
Yeah.
2:35 left to be played. Well, I can mention both of these teams are going to be involved in a tournament. It's called the Hoover Hoops Classic, MLK Classic. On Saturday, action starts at noon, 6 games scheduled. 6 p.m., Hoover will host Cleveland St. Ignatius. And on Sunday, 4 games scheduled at 2 p.m., Canton McKinley versus Akron Hoban.
Yeah. Hoban's a credible club, too. They just beat Lake by 6 points within the last week or so.
And what I want to mention is this is unique in the fact that it's cash only. Adults, $10. Students, $5.
Of course, you can watch basketball all afternoon.
Yeah. If you've got the time, they've got the games.
We asked A.D. Schott at the luncheon yesterday. He did say you could pre-buy tickets online. You just can't pay with a credit card at the gate. Well,
gotcha.
If you don't get your ticket ahead of time,
I'm glad you mentioned
cash.
that.
Yeah. What a great long pass that was. Reed Sims with a nice block.
Yes, 30 blocking 30. Inside 2.5 minutes. Graham flying to the basket. 5 in the period, 16 in the game. The lead is 12 for the visitors as we approach the 2-minute mark in regulation.
Here's where, again, we'd like to be able to foul and put him on the foul line. Good defense, and we
had the ball but couldn't hold on to it. Hunter Ross checks back in. He was on the starting 5.
I saw up in the stands tonight, Scott, good McKinley Bulldog booster Gary Mazer made the trip up from Orlando, Florida this weekend to come to the game. We had 2 games, and it's a long way to come for a couple of high school basketball games.
That's what you call a real supporter.
Well, that's right. Gary was a state class diver for Ted Brannon back in 1969. Great McKinley swim teams. See Mike Elliott here tonight. Isaiah's. You mentioned that Isaiah was coaching at Hoover. His father, Mike, who was a good player at McKinley, here tonight. I see Nate Cooks, Leonard Washington. Do you remember Leonard Washington of the great Homer Jackson, Leonard Washington backcourt of 1975-76? I was a sophomore point guard at Lehman all city night, having to compete against seniors like Elmer Jackson and Leonard Washington, and it was a long night for this youngster. We held the ball, Lehman. and still got beat 74-43.
Wow.
So that was an 18-0 McKinley team that was ranked number 1 in Ohio.
Whistle.
Referee doesn't want anything to get out of hand
Sure.
here this late in the game. And
Good job by Collins, just dribbling in, dribbling out.
Good ball handler.
Now the big man has the ball. He's double teamed.
We're fouling him, and they're not calling the foul. Of course, the big guy's getting frustrated because we're raking him, and all we're doing is what Coach V told us to do, and we've got to get 3 more fouls to get him on the free throw line.
1:43 left to play. First foul on Reed Sims Jr.
This game is almost a splitting reversal of the first game,
Nice.
Scott. Score-wise,
And again, a good decision
Point
by
differential.
Collins to bring it back out again. Oh,
again, Reed Sims fouling like he's asked to do.
yeah, Billy was ready to go to the line, but not quite yet.
McKinley foul, number 30, Reed Sims Jr. His third personal foul, 6th team foul.
Okay, the next free throw, or the next foul will put Hoover at the line. So
Yeah,
we're able to
both
commit
teams
3
with
fouls
6.
in about 10 seconds,
Yes.
so that's good. Hoover passing the ball before we can foul him.
I have a feeling they've practiced this a few
Yeah,
times.
it sure looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Coming in very handy here as it's 1:10 to play. And the lead is 12. Oh. Graham colliding with Quincy. And a whistle before the shot.
McKinley foul, number 23, Tom Weldon. His first personal foul, 7th team foul. Hoover substitution, entering the game number 30, Logan.
Yeah, like we mentioned a little earlier tonight, it's hard to play from behind against Hoover. It's hard to play from behind against Tom McBride Lake Club. They really do work. You alluded that it looks like they work at this. You bet they work at this every day at practice. And if they can get an 8 or 10 point lead in the second half, they want to make it last.
Well, and now Wes Collins is in double figures.
Yeah,
10 for
he's
10.
been a little quiet scoring the second half.
He really has, considering he's averaging better than 16 a game,
Yeah.
if our numbers are correct.
But he's played a nice floor game.
Yes, he has. Yeah, he's done more than just score in
Sure.
this game. He's kind of been the field general for them, or one of them anyway. Nice job, number 30, for backing it out.
Reed Sims steals it. Our 30 and their 30 steals it right back.
Graham, his third. 36.1 seconds. And the Hoover lead is 14 at 56-42.
This is a McKinley team, Scott, that is just not in sync, not in rhythm. We're struggling to find our way here. And the problem is when you get into Federal League play, there's no easy games where you can find your way.
Yes.
You've got to earn it.
Weldon across the rim. The rebound by Hunter Ross. Gets across the timeline.
I would think we'll allow them to run the clock out here. And
inside 10 seconds. And that'll do it.
we beat Hoover by 15 the first time we played. They got us by 16 here. That's a 31-point swing.
Of course, as always, these numbers are unofficial.
We'll go back to the drawing board and get back to work.
2 in double figures for Canton McKinley. Jaleel Graham with 16. Dante McClellan with 10. Ironically, I've got 2 in double figures for Hoover. 18 for number 32, Hunter Ross, and 13 for number 10, Wes Collins. What's the difference? Well, Zach Brocker had 8. Blake Ward had 6. Logan Ash, 6. Crew Kane, 6. And 3 for Mason Billy. So what I'm saying is they had 4 players, the total 26 points between the 4 of them.
Yeah. I think one thing we didn't really mention tonight is Hoover had an outstanding defensive effort here. I mean, 42 points. We didn't get many easy shots, many easy looks. You know, we talk about how many 3-point shots did we attempt? Not many, because they didn't leave unguarded 3-point shots. Big Billy makes it hard to get layups inside there, and so good defensive effort by the Vikings. Coach Bluey's got to feel very good about this.
Yeah, and Billy with 3 points, but he did a heck of a lot more than just score 3 points, as you say.
Yes.
He was the one that...
Yeah, he's a presence in there.
Yes.
Yeah. And he set some pretty mean picks, too. I don't know that I would want to be running into him all night long.
I mentioned it before. I'll mention it one more time as we say goodnight. The Hoover Hoops Martin Luther King Classic at North Canton starts on Saturday at noon. 6 games scheduled. 6 p.m. Hoover Vikings take on Cleveland St. Ignatius. Sunday, 4 games and scheduled to begin. I believe it's over the noon hour. And then the 2 o'clock game, Canton McKinley versus Akron Hoban. That's starting actually at 12:30. And what's interesting is, except for Perry, all the other Federal League teams are involved in this tournament. And I think that's when you can fold in your league as part of it.
Yes,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a nice weekend of basketball, and so well worth the $10 that it costs to get in the game.
Yeah, I was going to say it's less than $2 a game, something like that. Although I did that on the fly, so forgive me if I'm a little off on that. We've got a great girls game coming up tomorrow. It's Our Lady Pups, double digits in wins. Only, I believe it's 3 losses on the season. And Marlington, the Dukes, come here. And the interesting thing with them is they've got double digits in wins, and they're only lost by 1 point. And they are indeed ranked in the top 5. I want to say 3 or 4 in the state rankings in Division II.
Do you know anything about their players? They must have a
well, I do.
How
about you sing a medley of your hits here real quick? And I'm going to pull out. I was afraid if I got the 2 mixed up, then we'd have an issue here. We may still have an issue. Nice.
Yeah, at that kind of a record and that kind of a state ranking.
All right, here we go. Elizabeth Mason, this is Marlington now. Her season high is 32 points. She's averaging 17 per game. She's a senior. In fact, they're all seniors except this young lady, Chelsea. 11.5 points, 8 rebounds per game, 3 assists. Her season high, 23.
Okay.
Senior guard, Maria Warner. Season best, 17 against Carrollton, averaging 11 points, 5 assists, and 4 steals a game. So you see they're covering all the bases.
Yep.
Senior forward, Lexi Miller. Season best, 13, averaging 10 points per game with 4 rebounds and 2 steals. Ava Collins, a senior wearing number 15. 4 points, 4.5 rebounds. So they got 4 players averaging in double figures.
Yeah. So it's you can't just take one girl away and expect to win then.
No. But again, we've got the firepower as well. Paris Stokes averaging 16.5. Maya Taylor averaging now 14, coming off a career high 28 the last time on this court against the Hoover Vikings. Kailani Foster, who a couple games ago had her season best at 24. Sydney Bowden, don't worry about her stats because she covers them all. It's just that nothing necessarily jumps out at you, but she can do it all. She can play defense. She can play point guard.
I think she's a very good passer.
No question. And finally, I also want to mention Ariana Snell, who is averaging better than 8 points per game and becoming very consistent in her performance as well. Should be a good one. Our live stream should start right around 1:15 to 1:30 tomorrow. And I hope to see a lot of people here from both schools. Should be exciting.
Good. We'll look forward to it.
Always a pleasure to share a microphone with you. I appreciate it very much. To our crew, thank you very much. And most of all, my thanks to you for joining us. In the words of the late, great Joe Tate, have a good night, everybody.